Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World.
The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for the previews to start in a movie theater.
Hey, you want anything? Popcorn? Soda? No, nothing?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World.
Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Electrical pros, the Home Depot can help you put safety first with a 4-pack of Kidde FireX hardwire smoke detectors for just $39.97. Order these interconnected smoke alarms online and you put safety first. And that's followed by $10 savings on each pack, free delivery, and peace of mind knowing you got the right brand for fire safety. See? Put safety first and everything else follows when you order a 4-pack of Kidde smoke detectors for just $39.97. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what are you guys up to?
Oh, little weed, you know.
It's the Weedsman Podcast Nugget.
Zippity what?
Ready to drop the bass? Let's drop the bass.
Whoop-de-doo. What does it all mean?
All the random stuff that didn't fit in Friday's show you'll find here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man. You got a joint?
Got a little bit of reef smell on your boot?
What that mean?
Please, just give me like weed, all right?
I was listening to Penn Jillette's podcast on the way over here.
Penn Sunday School.
Yes, Penn Sunday School. He was talking about how Penn Sunday School came about and how it was kind of born out of his radio show that he had for a couple years. And he was working for CBS, and I guess he worked for him for 2 years, and then Howard Stern went to go to satellite. And
Yes.
so they started trying to figure out, what's our next Howard Stern going to be? We need a Howard Stern replacement. They started looking at Penn.
The show would have gone in a very different direction.
Yeah.
How long was this show on?
Penn's show? A couple of years. He did an hour show for a while. And they were trying to, they tried to get him to do a 4-hour daily show. And they were like, oh, well, you can, do your Vegas show at night. You wrap that up and then you come and do the radio show. And then.
So it basically turns into an albatross.
He's like.
Around your neck, like Loveline was for Adam Carolla.
Well, he didn't do it. And he's like, there's no way I could do 4 hours. And they're like, oh, it's just 4 hours. They're like, it's not really that much more than doing 1 hour. But yeah, he was just like, I gotta sleep at some point. I got a family.
I got a family.
Yeah.
Eating.
Plus,
even though he's losing weight, you still got to do that.
Plus, Penn's doing all right. He has a theater in Vegas with his name on it that he performs at every night.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a 4-hour radio show.
Yeah. That obligation is far more lucrative than the 4-hour radio show.
But I can see why they would go for him, because he has the voice, right? He doesn't have the radio personality, although I love his podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. But it's rather specific. It's not really a broad topic type of podcast that he does. He doesn't do a whole lot of like what's going on in the world today. He's sharing stories about stuff that happened to him, his family, talk about what his other juggler buddies are doing that co-host the show with him.
Juggler buddies.
Somebody asked him, what does CBS think about you talking about atheism on the air? And he's like, well, that was better than talking about juggling. He's like, there's some people that get turned off by talking about atheism. There's nobody that gets turned on by talking about juggling.
Right.
Get out. No one's trying to get with jugglers.
That must be from Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah.
There's some more pod on pod. I was listening to, I can't even remember what it's called. I started checking out some comic book podcasts, and I don't know. It's all right. There's too many of them, though, so I probably won't stick with me. But they did do an interesting segment where they both picked a random character from DC and Marvel, and then a topic to see who would better fit that. And it was Oh, it was one of them picked Star-Lord, the other one picked Poison Ivy, and the subject was basically pop star. And while they agreed that Poison Ivy would be the stronger pop star, they
Whoa, this is quite the nerd rabbit hole.
yeah. But then they imagined Star-Lord as like a Raffi type of kids.
Raffi?
Yeah. Well, because of Johnny Karate.
Well, I was saying that it's Johnny Karate.
Yeah. So they basically, in my head, I'm mashing up Star-Lord and Johnny Karate, which I think fits pretty well.
I was reading an article on the internet today talking about how most of the Parks and Rec cast says they'd be down for a reunion.
Hey, it's all the thing, right? That's the big rage.
But they've only been off the air for 4 years. I guess that's as much as I would love to see that. Like, give it at least 5 years.
Well, how long did the series run for? Like
the last episode aired in 2015.
I don't know when it started. How many seasons did it go?
Technically 7, but their first season was 6 episodes.
Right, like The Office.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so they did 7 seasons and then, like, ran out of steam, right?
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, no, it wasn't so much that they ran out of steam. They wanted to go out while people still wanted more. They didn't want to peter out.
Right.
They wanted to go out while they were still strong.
I don't know. Like, coming back now this soon doesn't really read well. I mean, people love the show, and I'm sure they would tune in and watch it. But what's your reason for doing this instead of going, it used to be rather than just keep rebooting shows, that if you had a good cast or even a chemistry between two people, you would just kind of put them in a different show, right?
Yeah, get you a spin-off.
Well,
Friends had Joey.
Or maybe a spin-off. The spin-offs have been less successful.
Frasier.
But
arguably maybe bigger than Cheers.
Right. That's true. Every once in a while, the spin-offs really do stick. And, I was looking into All in the Family, like, there were like dozens and dozens of shows for decades later that were spin-offs of that. But I think he was just, what's his name, the creator of All in the Family?
Norman Lear.
Yeah, Norman Lear. I think he was just playing the odds.
Well, there were 3 spin-offs of Happy Days, 2 of which I believe were successful.
Johnny Chachi,
Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy.
Oh, that's right. Was there Mork appeared on like one episode of Happy Days, right? I believe. I don't think he was like a reoccurring
Happy Days, it went off the air when I was real little. I remember I have like faint memories of it being on in prime time.
Me too. Well, I remember it.
Most of it was from syndication.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I remember seeing Mork from Mork on Happy Days, but I can't tell you. If only there was some way we could figure this out.
He was like their great Gazoo character, right? He was the weird alien to mix things up. If they came back, well, I guess you can do whatever you want now. Like, they could just go, we're doing 6, we have an idea for 6 episodes or 12 episodes, and they could just do that and then end it again. Kind of like Arrested Development. Right? They're not going to... The last couple of seasons have just been like, well, this might be the last story about the Blues, it might not. We'll see how it goes.
You're right. 1 episode.
Right.
My favorite Orkin.
So that's kind of a spin-off. Like, somebody had a crazy idea, and then the character, like, caught on. But it's not like, I don't ever remember the Fonz showing up at Mork and Mindy's place.
It's true.
Is this the theme for Mork and Mindy?
This is season 1.
Did you have video on this? Did you hook up your video?
Oh, shit.
Are you sure this isn't the Newhart theme? This sounds like the Newhart theme. I guess it just sounds like generic early 80s theme, right? It's not bad, though. It's a nice composition. Maybe a movie. What if they did like a Parks and Rec movie? Well, those very rarely work either.
Yeah. Give me a good example.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they all had one. I remember there was a Growing Pains movie. I mean, they're all made for TV movies.
Right.
You got to think of things that have gone to the big screen.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, back in the day, they would have just done like a 1-hour reunion special.
Remember there was a Saved by the Bell went to Hawaii?
Yeah.
There was that.
Right.
This Growing Pains movie. I think it was.
It was a Growing Pains movie.
It was always, they went on vacation. They always went somewhere. It was always somebody goes.
Well, you're not going to move your whole setup out into, take it to London just to do one 22-minute episode. You got to at least make it a 2-parter episode like the Friends wedding, or you make it into a movie.
The Growing Pains movie.
Hi, Jason Seaver here.
From the year 2000. I thought there was one even before this.
This is from
when they went on vacation.
So this was like a reunion type of movie? It's 2000.
It says they all come together to help their mom run for Congress.
That's my busiest time, the day after Election Day.
This is 2000, really.
Listen, I got a 12-year-old. He's eventually going to get sued by Marvin Gaye.
The phone's not plugged into anything. Yes, Senator. I will definitely be there. You have my full support.
Maggie's finally got her dream job. Press secretary for the next congressman from our old district
that really her?
in New York.
It is.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
My message across the district
Ha!
to you.
I see what they did there.
Ha. Wacky music.
Retired persons, often nervous, with reason about Washington, D.C.
Tracy Gold, that's right.
You will not be forgotten. Mac
I forgot how much I had a crush on her.
And if you give me those votes,
Jeremy, is Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie? That's the big question. This is the year 2000. He's from Growing Pains.
The youngest VP
What?
in the history.
Who was he in Growing Pains? He would have had to have been like a toddler.
He was. Oh my goodness! That's where he came from.
Get the fuck out.
Leroy Cappuccino? Is that what you call him?
Leroy Cappuccino was in Growing Pains.
Yes. I think his name was Luke. I swear to God. Yes. Boom.
Anybody see the Knicks Bulls game the other night?
Or Ben or something. No, Ben was the other kid. The regular kid. It was because he got older. There he is.
Oh my God.
Little Leroy Cappuccino.
Excuse me. I thought today's subject was gravity.
Why is he teaching?
Okay, fine.
Oh, because he was older. Said they brought in Leroy because all the kids got old.
Oh.
They needed a cute kid, so they brought in Leroy Cappuccino.
That's right, because they started this out when he was like a junior or something in high school. So
Gravity is the
suppose how much he used to watch us. When they started this, Kirk Cameron's voice hadn't even changed yet.
Right.
That keeps the Earth from flying to pieces.
It still has
And
it,
the
really.
universe
Like, even
All
here.
right.
becoming a dark, endless, desolate cloud of dust.
Why is how come Leonardo's the only white kid? Oh no, wait, there's some white kids on the other side. They're just segregated.
Oh, is this Mike Seaver's Dangerous Mind? He's Michelle Pfeiffer in it.
Does anybody have the answer to that?
Should I put on Coolio right
Yeah,
now?
it's totally all the black kids on one side and then the white kids on the other side.
The so-called experts have to say.
Oh, is he going
The
to
Earth's
use rap
gravity
and
exerts
poetry
an
next?
equal force on all objects, regardless of mass. For example,
You're supposed to read this ahead of time, by the
exactly
way.
the same speed.
Mr. Seaver, what? You just said a feather and a coin would fall at exactly the same speed.
I certainly did not. Oh, I did.
They don't. I tried it.
Well, the book says that they do, so why don't we just move on, okay?
Prove it.
He's got a feather in his pocket.
Okay.
Where did he get the feather from?
Fine.
Killed a pigeon before class.
Feather?
It's not a feather in a coin because the feather has too much wind resistance.
The book's wrong. End of story.
They checked this stuff out before they printed it. Okay. I got it.
It doesn't matter how you drop them. You can blow them out your ears if you want. Smart money's on the court.
Easy, Leroy.
What he's talking about. Neither do you. Finally, a teacher that's dumber than we are. Is this a great
Well,
country?
what
or what?
was the premise here? Like, he gets a teaching job because why? Is he an imposter? Did he not get a degree?
White privilege. That's my answer. It's an 80s sitcom. Who the fuck knows? They always came up with so much crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm sure they figured out some loose premise for him to be a teacher
Probably,
for a day.
It's an 80s sitcom. He could have won a radio contest.
Oh, Luke, is your neck still bothering you? Listen, you shouldn't have slept on the floor. You could have had
Luke.
a water bed.
Nah, I didn't want
I
to
was
sleep
right.
in bed that might wet me.
Oh, gosh, I do remember this
Make up
now.
for it with one of Michael Seaver's super duper homemade breakfasts.
Great.
What is this pop-up video?
Marshmallow twinkles or Mr. Smacky's peanut logs?
Well, I was kind of hoping for something hot.
Well, you can heat up the peanut logs, but I gotta warn you, they'll burn the roof of your mouth.
Peanut?
Oh, is that why he stayed with the Seavers? Mike brought him home. He's at use. Mike brought him home.
Yeah.
He can stay with us.
Yeah, because I think he was sneaking him around for a while.
Yeah. That's right. It's when he lived above the garage with Boner.
Oh, Boner.
Didn't Boner just die? I believe
Did he?
there's some Boner news.
Better learn to watch your
Get out.
Hey, listen, Luke, why don't you just stay here for a while?
Huh?
But, you know, you being out on the street and everything, it's kind of my fault.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, here you go.
Really, it's totally your fault. There's no way.
Oh, is he going to Michael Jackson him?
My parents? Oh, Luke. You see this?
Who? What?
This is the thing
Oh.
I have them wrapped around.
What's the
and I
lovely
got
thing you
9
can do
more.
is share a bed, Luke. I got some milk and cookies.
Yeah, see this pinky right here?
There's a hot air balloon.
The one that my parents are
It's
wrapped
going to take
around?
off at dawn.
It's going to have your anus wrapped around it in a second. Andrew Koenig. Caning. I think it's pronounced Caning.
Yeah, Boner is dead. Oh, 2010. Boner's been dead for 9 years. Whoops.
Breaking
I thought it
news.
just happened. Richard Boner Stabone.
That's
Poor Boner.
when Mike went to the pizza place because I think there was a girl there that he liked, and he was watching her make pizza, and he went there with Boner, and he snuck out, and he got caught, and then he was getting lectured, and he was like, "Oh, Boner." His dad's like, "That's one way to put it," and he's like, "No, I left Boner at the pizza place."
Ha.
I remember thinking that was like the most
That's edgy
risque
humor.
joke. I was like, I'm like 8 years old going, oh, TV these days. I can't believe what they can get away with. It's a good thing my parents weren't in the room.
Maybe change the channel.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019. The thing about comparing rates at Progressive.com is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about comparing rates at Progressive.com. We probably don't even need the words comparing rates anymore to remind you that seasoning steaks at Progressive.com is an easy way to save on car insurance, or that swimming in trousers helps you find the lowest rate. And that's the thing about foraging for truffles. You've heard a lot of ads about standing tiptoe on a cinder block. Compare rates and sing softly to a wounded field mouse and save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
It's easy to find flooring online, but imagining those floors on your floor, a bit trickier. So Lumber Liquidators made Picture It, which adds our floors to a photo of your space. Just point, snap, and choose a floor. It's great if you're looking for new floors. Also, still fun if you're not. Try Picture It, only at llflooring.com. These are the floors homes are built on. Lumber Liquidators Flooring. Choose from our selection of quality floors and get special financing. Visit llflooring.com for a store near you.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
Well, if you're not a fan of reboots,
you hate the last 20 minutes.
No, you're going to hate the next 10 years, I bet.
Oh, that's true.
It's not slowing down. There is an article that I saw that said the headline was, "This is how people decide what to binge watch next on Netflix and Hulu." But it's basically talking about how 67%, according to Nielsen survey, said the biggest influence on what they decide to stream is the existence of shows they used to watch on broadcast TV now being available to stream.
Yeah, I'm currently in the middle of rewatching 9 seasons of Scrubs.
Yep. And they're finding that while Hulu and Netflix and everybody, now Apple announced today their streaming service, they're all looking for content. They want lots of original content to get the dollar value up there.
Good time to be a studio.
And I think they need to concentrate more on library depth. I think they're getting that too, because they're, obviously they pay attention to what these Nielsen things come back with.
Is this the rebirth of mailbox money?
Well, I'm just saying, I think that we're going to see less original programming on these streaming services, and which is probably a good thing, because as much as there's been more good shows than ever,
we've been screaming it for 2 years.
There's
too much TV.
Shit. There's way too much shit, and so you're going to see probably less of them cycling through. Like Netflix likes to cycle through their programming a lot, but I imagine they paid it says in here $70 to $80 million for the rights to have Friends for Netflix. That is.
Oh God! But I mean, think about this. Did stuff like Nick at Night show us this in the 80s?
Mm-hmm. Well, pre-cable, reruns were things that you ran during the summer.
So did those fuckheads just get paid all over again, or did NBC just make $70 million?
I'm sure they get something off of that, I would imagine. I don't know. But $70 million isn't even really that much, right? Consider that's them making 11 episodes
10 million,
of Friends.
That's 10 million a friend, and then NBC gets to keep 20 million.
Yeah, I don't know if it gets cut up that way. I doubt it. I mean, they got paid pretty healthy up front, because it was big news that every cast member of Friends, the main 6, were getting $1 million an episode.
Well, yeah, that's that Seinfeld money. Speaking of TV, while we're talking about it, I had a question for you, because I've been seeing commercials for it, because I know it's coming back on for its final season. Have you fallen off the Archer bandwagon?
Yeah, I didn't watch the last season. I mean, I didn't finish it, and there was
turning it
new.
Into a different concept every season got old.
They had this they were part of the charm was the repeated jokes. But when you just have the exact same jokes and you just put them in different outfits, it doesn't do anything for it.
Because it's I noticed, final season of Archer, and then I realized, I'm not that excited for it.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I'd have been pretty juiced. But it's they went for, I guess it's what TV does nowadays. Oh, hey, Archer Vice worked. Let's beat the fuck out of this premise.
Right. My theory is that they did Archer Vice because they saw the writing on the wall and they figured that would be their last season.
Yeah.
And they were just all right, fuck it. If this is our last season, then we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. We want to do the show that we want to do. And once and it was great. People loved it. I think that actually got them more viewers because of that. But then they had already shot their whole load, right? What else do they do from there except for just constantly
switching up the
re-genreify Archer? And it's kind of a shame, though, because it did seem like there were bigger things that they were leading up to. They honestly, as impenetrable as Archer's personality is, they were season by season peeling back the layers of that onion.
Writing staff get clean.
And leading us to believe that they were going to get to some core thing, some kind of core meaning with this character. That there was actually something underneath all the snark and the womanizing and the drinking and the horrible behavior and the violence and the selfishness, that we saw a little peak of Archer's goodness each season, and he came to like understand himself more. He was growing as a character until they started constantly rebooting him, and now he's just stuck in a loop.
Well, the first episode of last season, literally, I was like, you did this already. He slept with somebody's fiance while they were on their honeymoon. I'm like, you did this like 4 seasons ago.
Right.
Like, you're doing the same. It's like the thing I ran into a Family Guy. Once I realized you're repeating yourself, I'm fucking out. Yeah. Like, I loved Family Guy. Like, it was appointment viewing for me. And as soon as I realized they were repeating jokes, I've watched new Family Guy episodes since like 2010.
Yeah.
Like,
they needed to do something a little bit more meta with those reboot seasons. I'll take, for example, the last issue of Batman that I read. This is kind of a unique issue because it had virtually no words. And it's part of this longer storyline where Batman is like, we're not really sure. He's dreaming somehow. He's captured and drugged or something, or these are just his dreams. But one of them is just him chasing this nondescript criminal over rooftops and through windows, and he just constantly gets away, and he chases him, tackles him, and he gets away.
Pow, Biff. Any of that?
No. Beep, beep.
Really?
The villain constantly looks at Batman and says, beep, beep. He's doing a straight-up riff on Coyote and Roadrunner. And so...
Is there a cloud of dust?
Yeah, no, they fall into a bar, and Porky Pig's the bartender. I mean, it's not Porky. It's a guy with, like, his nose is all piggish, but he doesn't have, like, pig ears or anything. He just kind of looks like a pig, and he stutters. But you know who it's supposed to be. And... yeah. So it's basically, I mean, I don't know, there's not a lot of words there, so I don't know exactly what the artist is saying, what the writer is saying, I should say, Tom King. But he's clearly saying something about, look, whether it's to the readers, this is just a comic, this is, and while we say that we want character growth, we don't really. We really just want the same story over and over again. We want the Looney Tunes episode of, Batman's always going to chase the villain.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God.
And he's never going to get the villain because the villain has to come back because there has to be another Joker story. There has to be another Riddler story. So he can't just kill him. That's why Batman doesn't kill, is because they're on issue 1000 of Detective Comics and there's only so many villains.
This was super hipster issue of Batman, wasn't it? I'm being self-referential.
Oh, yeah.
And... would this issue be wearing a fedora?
It's
waxing its mustache.
It may be. I think
it's the Meta Batman issue.
It's one of those where people will either hate it or absolutely love it. He smartly did it with probably one of the best comic book artists that are working currently.
It's like titling a song verse, chorus, verse, like that kind of.
Well, he did it with the same artist, Lee Weeks, who they had did a crossover with a Batman. I didn't read it. I can't remember. It was a Batman Porky Pig or a Batman Elmer Fudd. That's what it was. They did this like dark, gritty version of Elmer Fudd in this Batman Elmer Fudd crossover, and so it was kind of a nod to that as well. But yeah, is this? What is
verse, chorus, verse?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think verse, chorus, verse is probably a perfect metaphor or whatever you want to call it. Perfect example.
Was the villain's name Villain?
Well, the villain had just like a nondescript like bag over his head kind of thing.
Spy versus spy.
Like kind of like Rorschach, but without the Rorschachiness. right? It's just a blank slate.
Horseshack?
He does pull it from Watchmen. You've seen Watchmen, right? The guy with the Rorschach test on his face.
I'm talking about Horseshack.
No.
Back Cotter.
Now I'm always going to think about Rorschach as Horseshack. Ooh, Mr. V. Ooh, Mr. V. Ooh. Are you going to set loose the Kraken, Mr. V?
Sorry, kids. We got to get in jokes for the old people. There's 50-year-olds who think that's hilarious.
I think it was supposed to be both that Batman realizes that his life is cartoonish, and also to the audience, this is just a comic book.
We're trying to break the fourth wall.
I know
through
how
the comic book.
Well, I think a little bit of it is like, I know we all love these books that reinvent our characters in these dark, gritty ways, and like comic book readers are expecting more. They're older and they're more. They've seen too much shit, you know. They don't want just a biff bam pow. They want some pathos. And people are, this version of Batman that Tom King is writing, it's selling really well. It's getting a lot of attention. But like any Batman run that does, it's going to have a lot of people that are like, not my Batman. And especially when you start to deconstruct this character.
Make Batman great again.
And do these kind of little arty things that, you know, like I said, this was not just a single episode. This was, I think, the 4th or 5th episode of straight nightmares, of one-off issues where he's just up against one villain and in this surreal context. So it's been like months since we last seen Batman. He was ambushed and knocked unconscious, and that was left as a cliffhanger. And then there's going to be like 6 issues of these nightmare issues.
Bat Hospital. Oh, I see what they're doing.
So yeah, I mean, he's kind of fucking with it a little bit.
Like the season of Archer that was his coma.
Right. It's the same thing. He's kind of doing the Archer thing, but he's actually going all there with it. You know, it's not like what Archer did. If he did exactly what Archer did with their seasons, then you would just take old issues of Batman and re-letter them and put them out. It's almost just like repackaging it. Whereas this Batman run, he's actually doing something with the character. It's actually going somewhere. There's some bigger story that this is going to add up to. And I got that sense from Archer all the way up until Archer Vice. And then it was fun. It was funny, but there was no more meat left on the bone.
Yes.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Nya nya nya. Ba, Babue, Zimbabwe. The broken Bunsen burner burns so bright. Southeast Asian Peninsula.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes?
I think the only line we need from you today is drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Cool. I just gotta finish my warm-ups. Foul, throw in the towel. History.
Switch to Progressive today.
Santa ski slalom in a salmon skin suit.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Zenni offers prescription glasses starting at $6.95, as well as affordable sunglasses, blue blockers, and more. The best part? Try any frame, anywhere, with our 3D virtual try-on. Visit Zenni.com today and change the way you buy glasses forever.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.